agree with you guys, and I like Tannehill, but I think there's a ceiling cap on him. Not sure he's a guy that can just go win you games when things aren't going well for Henry. Am I wrong?
I think the point that I kind of agree, kind of disagree. I think the point would be like, could he be on a team that's mainly a drop back passing team? I think he could. Is that what this current Titans team is built for? No. And I think if they did build a team around him, he would be a guy that, yeah, they could win double digit games a lot. But I think the whole ceiling cap thing is definitely true. Like, if he's getting paid 36 million, would you struggle to go far into the playoffs? I would say, yeah, probably. I mean, if the Packers are struggling with Rodgers to do it, if the Saints are doing it with Breeze, yeah, you definitely have some limitations with him getting paid, top 5, top 8 amount of cap space. But on a reasonable contract, I think you can go far in the playoffs with Tannehill, and I think they did that in 2019. Now they ran into Mahomes and the Chiefs, who ended up winning, but there's no shame in that, and I think they put up a good fight. So.
So I think it's a fair point. Like, sure, maybe there would be limitations to that team, but how many teams go to the playoffs where there's just a true just drop the quarterback back every time? I think it's just Mahomes. Last year was just Mahomes, Rodgers, Josh Allen, Russell Wilson. Even Deshaun went 4-12, but Deshaun was dropping back. The quarterback was dropping back every play like that. But I would say those are like the only 5 guys that do it. Even Brady. They went to heavy 2 tight end personnel, 20, 21, 22 personnel sets, or 12 personnel, 22 personnel, and they were going deep play action and throwing the football down the field. So then it comes to like, okay, if you put him within this offense, can he maximize every single thing there is to be had? And he 100% can. Like, yes, they have a great running game, but again, it goes back to the fact that they're throwing the ball down the field off play action. This isn't Jared Goff where it's play action, bootleg, 5-yard throw to Robert Woods. This isn't Garoppolo where his ADOT is like 7 yards or 6 yards, where he's throwing the ball very near the line of scrimmage. They're pushing the ball down the football field, and every time they push it down the football field, he makes every single throw that is there to be had. So I think it's a fair point, but I think that's where the top 5, 6 guys in the NFL separate themselves, and he's one of the 10 to 11 best guys in the NFL, and that's why he's not Josh Allen, Mahomes, Rodgers, Russell Wilson.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say too, and I think that's the point to be made. Like, that's kind of what separates the Allens, the Rodgers. Like, you can just throw them in whatever situation, and you have some faith because of how good they are. Now, if Tannehill was put on a team like, say, the Patriots, if he had the Patriots receivers, would he struggle to maybe get the ball down the field? Yeah, like, he's not going to be able to be a one-man wrecking crew and just like remember the Packers in 2015, I believe it was 2015, when they lost to the Cardinals, and they had Jared Abbrederis, Jeff Janis, all these random guys, and Rodgers still made it work. Like, yeah, I don't think Tannehill would be able to do that, but that's also why Rodgers has been a top 5 quarterback his whole career. But if you give Tannehill a supporting system, he's gonna more than take advantage and be a really solid quarterback. I think that's where the line is drawn between the best and that second or third tier. I guess you could say second tier of guys that they need a good supporting cast to function.
Right, and this is the distinction. If you remember one of our last streams, my man Pinor, who I see in here, asked this exact question, like, how many elite guys are there? This is the exact distinction that's, in my opinion, separates the truly elite guys from the guys who have elite stats like Tannehill and Matt Ryan and Kirk Cousins, but they're just, just a tad bit lower than those guys. And that's solely because, like, it's the drop back situation. I mean, you watched the Bills last year. They can't run the football. They can't run block. They can't run the football. But, like, Josh Allen, they dropped him back every play, and he would make something happen with his legs or his arm every single play. So, like, I think that's where there is a distinction between, the 5 truly special guys, and then there's everybody else. But then you have the guys like the Tannehills and the Daks that are really, really good and take advantage of everything that's there. They just can't be the drop back 65 times. Even though Dak does drop back 65 times, I'm talking about just spread it out, true drop back. There's no threat of the running game and all of that. And we're just going to throw, and win games like that. And there's only a few guys that, in my opinion, can be the ones to do that. And another guy I think that has the ability to do that, and that's why I'm so high on him and I've always been high on him, is Stafford. We've seen Stafford have seasons where the Lions don't run the football and they go to the playoffs because he's so good at dropping back, but he's never done it with the consistency as the Rodgers or the Mahomes.
Definitely. But no, that's a great question. And I think it is something that should be, maybe talked about. Like, is that the distinction to be made? And Pineware asked that last time, where it was like, who are the elite quarterbacks and why? And it's basically like, if everything around them's not good, can they still perform at optimal level? And for those elite guys, you would say yes. And maybe I don't think Tannehill is one of those guys, but he's still really, really good. And, if you give him something to work with, he'll make it happen.
100%.